Welcome back to Beyond Boundaries, guys. Johnny and I are here to provide some amazing value once again. We've got a guest, a man that's lived multiple lives, a man of many things, and he's here to provide some value also as well. So make sure that you tune in, and if you haven't yet, go like, go share, go subscribe, go show some love, share it with your friends, and yeah, enjoy the show. So Ash, I want you to, the first question for you is who you are, what do you do, and where are you from?
Wow. What do I do now?
Yeah.
So my name is Ash Edelman. Wow. Right now I am a mindset coach. So I work with people removing their limited beliefs and just helping be the best version of themselves and then bridging that into business, into family, into everything. Because how we are in one way is how we are in everything. And where am I from? Perth, but moving to Dubai very shortly.
Nice.
I hope that answers your question.
No, that's beautiful. So I know a bit about your background, but I want to hear some more. Like, you used to be in Onlyfans and used to be an ex-stripper.
Yeah.
I just want to know how you came across that, how old you were when you started it, and was it just because of the money, or was it just because, like...
A bit of everything.
Yeah.
So I'd moved to the UK back in 2013. And originally when I did it, I went traveling, spent all my money, came home, and my parents said, look, if you get a job back in the UK, we'll pay for your flight. We can't have you missing this opportunity. So a mate of mine got me a job. I told my parents it was security, but I was a stripper. So they paid me for my flight to go back over. And when I got to the UK, the job wasn't everything that was promised. It was a lot of faff. Yeah. I think I did maybe the 3 months that I was in Cornwall, 3 or 4 months I was in Cornwall, I did maybe 3 or 4 shows. Made next to fuck all money. I can swear on this, can I?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Amazing. I made next to fuck all money. I was promised all these different things. I've had a few wild stories from it, actually. Okay, one of the wild stories, I'll share one of them, just 'cause I love shock value.
Yeah.
I was a stripper at a pikey party. So the pikeys are the caravan crew. They're usually Irish.
Yep.
Who travel around. There was about 40 of them in a circle. And I had the tracky stripper thing where you put the towel around, you get the girl on her knees, put the towel around her head and get her to take your underwear off.
Yep.
So she did that, but she then grabbed a hold of me and I was like, oh, shit. Poked her head out the towel and looked at her mum and goes, Mum, this is how you suck a dick, and went, boom. And I was like, what? Had to get out of there. Had to get out of there very quickly. But I started doing that and I was like, this isn't what I want to be doing. Like, I don't like this here. I was doing some contracting work for the Defence Force as well as a civilian, which was just playing enemy party and things like that. And then I had a photo shoot, went to London, and the photo shoot ended up being a scam. But those photos are what got me a job with Forbidden Nights, who are the guys I started stripping with.
Yep.
And basically, when I went back down to Cornwall, the guy was like, look, if you want to become a model, you want to do something, come to London. So I got up there, lived on a couch for about 2 months at my mate's house and landed the job with Forbidden. First off, I went in there to meet all the boys and basically did the show. And the show was incredible. It was not just a stripper show where it's one stripper, they get a chair on there, it's tacky shit. It's none of that. It was like these guys had a stage, they had a rig, they had a full choreographed 2-hour show with lighting, everything, 300 women in there. It was amazing. They brought me on stage at the end and they're like, ladies, this is Ash. It's his birthday today. Who thinks he should strip? And I'm like, fuck it, okay. Got in there, took my shirt off and then jumped on some girl and went back to the old bump and grind. And then took the girls up top. And the boss was like, look, I'll give you a call over the week on Monday and we'll have a chat. He gave me a call on Monday and said, look, we can't afford to keep you, sorry. And I was like, dude, I'll work for free. I don't care. I just want to be a part of this. Like, I love what you guys are doing. So he goes, okay, I'll give you 50 quid a week. So 50 quid's about $100. Yep. And we only had, at that point in time, we only had 1 show a week. But they brought me in. I worked my ass off. I was doing everything. I was setting the stage. I had other boys help me, but I was setting the stage, doing the chairs, make sure everything was set. And before, I think one day we finished everything early, and I picked up a fire staff. So I'm a fire performer as well. Yep. Picked up a fire staff and started playing with that. And the boys came over and were like, we didn't know you could do that. And I was like, oh, I did mention it, but okay. About 2 or 3 weeks later, one of the other boys came over to me, who soon became our compere. He was like, the fire guy's leaving. They're going to put you in rehearsals. You're going to be in the main cast. I was like, fuck off. No way. And literally the boss then came into me and was like, yeah, we're going to put you in rehearsals. Now I'm a rugby player. I trip over, I can step like anything else. But as soon as you teach me to dance, man, I'm tripping over my own feet. So it took me 3 weeks to learn half a routine. And then that routine I learned was the one that we did on Britain's Got Talent. And that Britain's Got Talent is like 89 million views, I think it is. It's like one of the highest viewed auditions of
On
Britain's Got
YouTube
Talent.
as well.
Oh, so
yes?
you were actually on Britain's Got
Yeah,
Talent?
we're actually on Britain's Got Talent in 2015. So we basically, a beautiful way they did it. We had a guy, he was singing, basically his microphone breaks and 4 people in crew jumpers come running on. And only 2 people actually knew what we were doing out of the whole thing. So we had crew jumpers that come on, we ran on stage and it looked all official and all that sort of stuff. And then boy starts some music and we all break out and dance. And next thing you know, we rip our clothes off on stage. So yeah, it was good.
So I'm guessing you've always had that confidence, but
Yes and no. I was in the army, so
Yeah.
I used to get naked for free, and that was literally my justification was like, fuck it, I may as well get paid for it.
Oh, for sure.
Literally, I may as well get paid for it. And I think the confidence slowly grew over that time because like once I started stripping, like I always started bodybuilding as well, and they kind of went hand in hand because they were both. You're in a vulnerable state. You're literally naked on stage, or you're showing almost everything. So we never showed everything until I started stripping back here.
yeah.
That's when I got everything out. But back there, it was like I'm there getting judged by people when I'm bodybuilding, who I don't know. I put 16 weeks of work in, whatever. But I was always in shape. So when it came to performing, I was always in shape. I was always the big guy on stage. It was always that. Which was good. And then I think 2017, I split up from my then girlfriend, and I was like, "What the fuck do I do? What do I do?" Like, her dad was trying to get me kicked out of the country. It was all this sort of stuff going on. And I'm like, I need to work out how I'm making money to pay back my boss because he basically helped cover me for a visa and all sorts. And I was like, "Fuck, okay, what do I do?" A photographer. So it's back then when I first started, like a lot of fitness photographers, a lot of them are gay, especially the ones that shoot the guys. Most of them, and one of them was like, dude, get into a thing called muscle worship. And I was like, what's that? And he goes, you basically get on camera, you do videos, like all sorts of videos. You can do in-person meets where it's like, it could be anything. But you have those and basically gay guys pay a lot of money for it. I was like, shit, okay, I can make some money. And I started, I think there were at points I was just from making short 10-minute videos of me flexing in my underwear or doing stupid shit. I was making almost 300 quid a day. That's $600 a day just doing that. And I think that 300 quid would come from 6 videos. That was it. I was done in an hour and I was like, fuck it, what do I do? So I was very, very chill. Then Onlyfans came out and someone was like, you need to get on Onlyfans. So I was like, done. It's the next natural progression. So I jumped in, started doing Onlyfans. It worked well with the Best Flex, which was where I used to sell my videos. I had a big Twitter account. So they all worked in sync. And I think OnlyFans, within the first year, I was making about 3,000 US, and most of it was just videos of me, like, you'd see it naked, but there was that. But obviously things progress over time. And as the requests come in, the money gets better.
Yep.
You do more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it was always just like you never like collaborated with other people?
So
or?
I started doing collaborations when I moved back to, just before I left the UK. So I actually got married. I stopped OnlyFans for about 3 or 4 years. And then when we split up, I was like, look, I was actually with my best mate at the time, who I actually got him into bodybuilding and OnlyFans. So he didn't really got me back into it. He's like, just open your account, see what's in there. And there was about 1,500 US sitting in there. So I was like, fuck, okay.
Well, is this in the OnlyFans account?
Yeah, OnlyFans account. So like, oh, fuck, okay. So I just started repurposing old content and just started selling old content. And fucking the money started coming back in. So it was like amazing. Then someone was like, look, I'd love to do a collaboration with you. Then I started looking at collaborations. So in the UK, I think I did 2 collabs. They were fun. They were really fun.
What type of collabs were they as well?
Oh, there's 2 girls. So the first one, she was incredible. She was my first collab. It was fun, man. It was just basically we just set cameras up and just fucked. It was fun.
Did you enjoy it as well?
With her, I did. With her, I did. The second one, I didn't. She was a really cool lady. Her and her husband were swingers, so he filmed us.
Oh, yeah.
But she was
a bit awkward, A bit awkward.
No, for me, not awkward. But
yeah.
for me, it's fine. Like, I've been working in the sex industry for years. Like, me and my ex used to perform at sex parties. I go to sex parties, all sorts. So for me, it's nothing. Like, I will literally run around walk around the building naked, say hi, and have a conversation to people. Does not fucking bother me. But yeah, the second chick, there was too much surgery that had gone on, and I was just like, it just didn't
Right.
Yeah, well, it wasn't for me. Came back to Australia and we did a couple. Me and my mate actually started a thing called Got Swolled.
What was that about?
So we're two bodybuilders doing porn. And it was basically, and we're like, how do we make this a novelty? We had ideas of making a double-ended dildo with both of our dicks on either end. We had another one where the main thing was to be high-fiving or stuffing over the top of women during the video. And then at the end of it, they'd be in the middle of us and we'll have a t-shirt that say, I got swolled and all these sorts of things. So
Promotion and
it was branding. And then we built a podcast off the back of it. And the podcast, what was meant to happen with it was we wanted people to see a different side to us than just strippers. Because there's a much deeper side to both of us. So we literally talk about issues that everyone else is going through, but then we just finish off with some fucked up dad jokes. And it was great. We built a following through that, but then he shifted onto a different way, and then I shifted onto a different way, so that kind of folded. But it brought in money, and I did work with a few people that were good. I worked with other people that were really controlling, as in controlling of how you can sell the content, what you can do with that. So it was just, and it's very bitchy as well. It's very bitchy. People lie. People do this. It's the same thing. It's just every environment has a toxic side to it.
Was there quite a lot of judgment like through this time? And if there was, how did you sort of handle it?
Even if there was, I didn't even fucking know. Because I don't care. Like the judgment of me, in the growth that I've had in me becoming who I am now, is realizing that everyone has their own bullshit going on.
Yeah.
And anytime someone makes a judgment on you, it's a reflection of them. So it's like, I can't get angry at you from judging me because it's something that you're upset with yourself. That's an issue, not an issue me.
It's a reflection, isn't it, of the internal world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be angry at you. I'm not going to be like, I'm really sorry you feel that way, bro. But look, you have a great fucking day and catch you never. Like, I do me. I'm good.
I agree.
I'm good.
And do you have any, like, throughout that time, it's quite a multifaceted lifestyle you've had so far, especially with what you're doing now, the mindset coaching and, ex-stripper, ex-Pornhub industry man.
Everything. Yeah.
Do you have any regrets? And were there any, like, psychological changes in your mind? Let's just say more confidence, or was it like, was there just any changes in the mind, like, through that type of experience as well?
I mean, more confidence, definitely. I think... Look, I've been on this journey for a very long time, and every bit of me looks back at what I've done, and it's like it's all been shaping me up to what I want to do next. So where I want to be, 2 years' time, I want to have 1,000 people in a seminar. That's where I want to be in 2 years, and I will make that happen.
Yeah.
But I want to be on stage, changing lives with the power of words. That's what I want to be doing. Because if I look back and I break it down, being on stage, being naked, all that is building confidence in me to make sure I can stand up in front of people. If I can stand on stage naked, take my clothes off and be laughing, standing on stage talking is nothing.
Easy.
So there's that side of things. With the porn, it's a story. It's something that not many people will talk about. It's such a taboo. But what's really fucked up is one of the ladies I worked with, she goes, you know what's twisted? We have every single person where we live in this little town making judgments on us for what we do. But most of them subscribe to our OnlyFans. And I was like, that just shows you how fucked the world is. There's like, people will sit there and openly make judgment to you because they care about what everyone else thinks about them. But in actual fact, they're sitting in the corner like, at home watching their fucking videos. Like,
people have quite warped perceptions as well. And one thing I always like to say to Johnny, but also just think in my mind, is that, especially as a man, you sort of need all these type of experiences anyways as well 100%. To be able to pour into people's cup, to pour into them, but also lead by example. You can come from a place, it's like what we spoke about the podcast. It's like having credibility, authority, and experience. And people love to listen to a man that has experience and actually cares about what's going on when it comes to the psychological matters within our mind, and also experience and how we can come from whatever past, not define ourselves, but transform ourselves through that past or whatever it is, whatever life that we had before.
It's because they don't also have that life. This is why I like the shock value. Shock factor from performing, from stripping, always great, because you get everyone's cheer, you get everyone's shock, you get all that sort of stuff. But also in every day-to-day life. If I'm sitting, like we're sitting here having a conversation, you guys knew nothing about let's say you knew nothing about my past, and I drop in one of the stories about a guy literally used to kiss my ass and wank into a sock and would pay me 300 quid for an hour.
And that actually happened as well?
That actually happened, but that's what I mean. But the reaction you get is going, shit, this actually happened. It's like, yes. And the other wild thing why I talk about it so openly is because everyone's got a kink. People may not realize their kink. People may be ashamed of their kink. People just don't want to talk about it and they keep it hidden to themselves. But everyone fucking has one. these people that I'm working for, like I said, I've got my rules. You don't do this, you don't do this, you don't do this. If this happens, then I'm out. So I've got my boundaries.
Yeah.
But they're living out a fantasy. They're paying for me to help them live out a fantasy. Sweet. So I've been in the business of changing lives for a very long time.
Even if it's from the porn industry and stuff as well,
100%.
OnlyFans, or to mindset and coaching.
All of it. Like
Yeah.
we used to get messages from the girls that would come to the show at Forbidden, even when I was at Magic Man. And they're like, thank you so much. No one's looked after me like that or made me feel so loved and wanted in so long. I went home and I haven't had sex with my husband like that in years. But we're getting these messages. It's like we are in the business of changing lives. Yes, it's just a different way, but that's what we do because we're living fantasies for people.
Yeah.
So for me, that's everything's been working up for me to go to what I'm doing next, to step away from the porn to the OnlyFans and running around naked and giving a shit putting myself through 24 weeks of prep just to stand on stage to be judged by 5 people who don't even know me. Like I'm done with that life.
Yep.
My life now is using everything that I've learned, the lessons, to be able to bring it to every single person. Because my life has been so diverse, I feel I can reach a whole range of different people. Instead of just having one life experience and then just trying to target a fucking niche.
Yeah.
It's all the pieces of the puzzle coming together as well, and I definitely love that. And yeah, to move on a little bit as well, thank you for sharing that part.
Yeah.
That's a good part to know, especially from your past and how you've had this like diverse lifestyle and what you're doing now, which is very interesting. I know that you do have a school community, is that correct?
Yeah.
And it's Mind Body Mastery. I wanted to
the
see
one.
if you could run through like what is that and what does your mentorship offer?
So the Mind Body Mastery is a community for people who they want a place to feel safe and vulnerable, not feel judged. So that's the whole premise of the community, is just creating that safe space. Within the community, I do a live breathwork or meditation every Tuesday night. I'll be adding in, once I'm settled in Dubai, I'll be adding in a live Q&A. They've got sections in there which are the recording. I do a private podcast at the moment. That will be released, and this will become like an early release thing. So I have a podcast in there. I've got stretching videos to help people with their mobility and flexibility. I've got a breathwork series, which is a 7-day mind reset. There's nutrition guide, which has different recipes in there. There's information about weight training, nutrition, meditation, breathwork, mindfulness, morning routine, evening routine. All those sorts of things are in there as well, and a few other breathwork videos. And I'm adding in a meditation section and also a meditation like 101 how to. So it's got everything incorporated in one area to make it nice and easy for people to learn everything they want to about the mindfulness, but also be able to come in and share the stories they can't talk to anyone about. They can feel safety in numbers on the internet with a community of people that are going through the same thing. And that's the other thing is I've noticed. We all go through the same shit. Everyone turns around and thinks that, no one will ever understand me. It's like, no, we all go through the same thing. It's just different severities and timelines and circumstances, but it's all basically the same shit.
It is.
And so having a place where people can come and share their stories without being worried is the goal.
I think that's important. Comfortability, people come together, and especially, like you said, being able to be your authentic self without people having any judgment on you as well. And I know sometimes people say that, like, I'm going through something, no one's going through what I'm going through, but literally there's millions of other people around the world and people going through, like you literally just said, the same stuff. So I think being able to converse and literally come together in a brotherhood or a unity of masculine and feminine to communicate and to express and to help each other with the tools that we have as well. And this is the school you'd join, Johnny?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sound
definitely.
like it?
Yeah. It's something I really wanted to get into, but in the last year I've just been working, slaving away. So it's hard to find that time, but it's something that I pretty much want to really get into. But I wanted to ask as well, I love your story, but I just wanted to ask, how did you go from this lifestyle that you were living as a OnlyFans creator, stripper, to breath work and everything? Was there someone that showed you into that industry, or was it just you went out and found it yourself?
The pivot.
Well, I think I always knew of it. I was always doing certain bits and pieces. I think the first book that I read that really triggered a lot of this was Asking It Is Given by Esther Hicks.
Ooh, I've never heard of that book, actually.
Asking It Is Given by Esther Hicks. One of the best things. That started me with morning routines, affirmations, manifestation. That started me in 2014, I think it was. That was it. So it's always been, I've been in the personal development space for, again, that long. The audiobook list that I have, everything that I've got. I was going through Think and Grow Rich, Win Friends and Influence, all these books. I was reading all those. But when it came to the proper shift, COVID, when we lost everything, because I was in the UK at that point. So we were literally fucking locked in a can for forever. But I started doing breathwork because I couldn't go anywhere. I was actually started doing trading, forex trading.
Yep.
And I wanted to learn how to calm myself down. This is before I got diagnosed with ADHD as well, so I had no fucking idea. So I was using breathwork to calm myself down, allow myself to get into a space so I could trade easier. And that's how I used it over time. Then I got back into the whole bodybuilding once COVID lifted, and I started using that as a part of my morning routine. And it just slowly kind of leveled out for a little bit. I then went through my divorce. So I was like, okay, I need to work out the next steps. Breathwork, and started breathwork and Mind Valley and a few other things really started creeping in because I was in a very dark space. Very dark space. Like, I was confused, lost. I thought I was very much in the mindset of when it comes to relationships, we build a bridge, we don't knock down a bridge, we repair it. Yeah. So I was looking at my relationship like that. No matter how much it was killing me and breaking me and I was losing who I was trying to do everything. When I got to the point that I split up, I was then left with a shell of who I was, and I'm like, okay, cool, let's sort this shit out. So I was going through those days. I'd just been diagnosed with ADHD. I was like, and that was a massive relief for me. A lot of people, they freak out and it can really destroy them. For me, it was like, okay, that explains so fucking much. Yeah. So I was able to use that whilst I was working with the days where I couldn't get out of bed, the days where I didn't want to go anywhere. I'd literally wake up on mornings, go, fuck this, and go back to bed. Yeah. And I'd usually punish myself for it, where I was using this time unconsciously using this time to work through those things in myself to understand, to make sure I can then help people later with it. Once I moved back to Australia, I finally was like, fuck it, I'm going to go home. I convinced my friend to come with me because we both got a job with Magic Men. So we started stripping with Magic Men when we came back. And look, everything that was promised, wasn't it? We were promised Melbourne wages living in Brisbane. Now, the Melbourne guys could earn 3 to 6 grand in a weekend. We were barely making $1,000 a week. And sometimes not even that. Sometimes you'd be $300. Oh, wow. It was horrible. Yeah. And I was like, I was dedicated. I'm doing this, and I'm like, I started going through. I started questioning a lot because I was just like, I didn't feel right. Nothing felt like it was going the right way. And I did a breathwork session, and I kind of came out of it. And I was like, you need to become a facilitator. You need to work on retreats. That was it. So I started reaching out to people, and I had a few people got back to me. The guy in Bali that I was with, he was like, yep, come over in August. We'll get you over and we'll get you to work a retreat. And another person who is no longer a friend of mine said, look, come over to Perth. And this is what we have going on. So he brought me over. We got to see what it was. And yeah, I was, at that point in time, I was under the illusion of, I was promised the world of things that were going to happen. So I was past social media at this point in time. Hated social media, didn't want a bar of it. I had my dog. He came into my life end of last year, and he really saved my life during this really dark period. I had a whole dark night of the soul. I, again, questioned my entire reality, and then everything just slowly started shifting. And then when I came to Perth, it was just, even that, I was still floating a bit, but I was like, I know something doesn't feel right here. The people that I'm with, I don't trust to follow through with what they said they were going to do. So, okay, I need to take this on my own. So I did a breathwork session again, and it was like, okay, it's time to post on social media. And that's where this whole rebrand came in. The whole point of it was to go, you know what? I'm going to start posting things that are authentic to me, things that feel real, things that have helped me. If I post those, I can't go wrong. Because for years I lived in fear in the fitness industry as a coach, seeing Lane Norton, Ben Carpenter, all these other people, calling out all these other influencers. And even though I knew I wasn't in that category, I would still be like, fuck, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to get called out. Well, now I don't give a fuck because I'm posting what's authentic to me. Yeah.
And that's good.
That's beautiful, yeah.
And I love that. And I think that's something as well, that you're being authentic to yourself. And it seems like you're having a multitude of spiritual awakenings as well. And it's interesting how sometimes our biggest ups can come from our downs. It's literally when you think about a plane when it's taking off, it sort of needs that pressure and everything as well before it takes off and it lifts off. And like you said, the value that you're giving online, which I see, which I completely appreciate, you know, the meditations to the stretches, just everything that you put out, even the videos of you talking, like you said, you cannot go wrong because it's authentic to yourself. It's real value. It's something that you use on the day-to-day basis as well. And yeah, I truly love how you're working on your personal development journey, bro. It's amazing. And it's not just about yourself, and I think it's literally about the purpose bigger than yourself, but also you're pouring into people that actually need, you know, that fucking help. You know what I mean? My French, but, you know, people that literally need that fucking help. Like, it's awesome.
Sorry, you just mentioned French. When I was at the monastery, one of the guys, this is very sidetracked, by the way.
It's all good.
He basically, one of the other lads ran to the toilet. He goes, I got a turtleneck poking out. And one of the French guys was like, j'ai le cigar au bout de la voix. And I was like, what is that? He goes, I have a cigar between my cheeks. And I was like, teach me that. I want to have that. Sorry, completely sidetracked, but I thought that was one of the best things in the world. Go on. Welcome to my brain.
I love it. It's good. Seems like you've got quite a bit going on for yourself, and there's quite a lot of tools that you're using, you know, like breath work, meditation, stretches, you know, bodybuilding, all this type of stuff. Can you go through like how that's helping people as well and get rid of their negative blockages they have in their brain as well? Like, how does breath work help out?
Yeah.
What is meditation? Like, what are these different, you know, aspects of personal development you're using? And can you break down some of them?
Yeah.
And how they help out actually the human mind, the human body, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So our internal world dictates our external world. And with our internal world dictating that, that becomes the first priority. So when we're looking at stretching, a lot of people don't have the flexibility these days. They don't.
I don't.
Yeah, but the younger, it's getting younger where people don't have the flexibility. And it's like, for me, that was like, okay, I need to be flexible because I want to run around with my kids. I don't want to be walking around with a walking stick with a hunchback. So the stretching was a big thing. I'm like, okay, that's pillar one. That needs to come in there.
Yeah.
Nutrition. I work as a bodybuilder and a PT. I'm like, okay, food is the next thing. People need that. I don't talk about much food on the page because it's, I feel that's just going to convolute things. There's too many people now in this industry stepping in and going in, walking through supermarkets, going, don't eat this and this sort of bullshit. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stay away from it. If people want coaching, they can come talk to me about it. But nutrition is a big aspect. Training, whether it's mobility or weight training, is another thing. The more muscle mass you have, obviously not the bodybuilding side of things, but the better you're going to feel. Yeah. The better you're going to look. The better things are going to be. The stronger you're going to be. So that helps with that one. When you get into the breath work, for me, breath work came because I needed to calm down my ADHD. I was like, I need to be calm. I need to meditate, but I can't because my brain just won't shut the fuck up. So I jumped into breath work, and by doing like depending on the breath work, like somatic breath work, diving into like some real deep somatic work is pretty heavy. It can be a lot of trauma release. You can have the Wim Hof style of breath work, which is where you do the breath hold, the breath hold, stuff like that. And you've got some other ones as well, but I usually follow the Wim Hof style. Okay, that was nice and easy. I'll do 3 rounds, and every single time you hold your breath out, your mind does not run as fast. It will always, because you're so focused on holding something tight, focused on where you're sitting, relaxing the body, the mind really doesn't want to run. So from that, I then finish my 5 rounds. I then jump into a meditation, and with that meditation, I'd be able to sit there, and it was only about 5 or 10 minutes, but I'd be able to just feel that level of calm. But I'd also get the visuals where it was like I could always see like a third eye. My eye would pop up. I'd always have a tunnel that I go through and flashing lights. But that was as far as meditation went. But for me, that all came a part of my morning routine as well. So you cannot get a hold of me for the first 3 hours of my day. I've got my phone on Do Not Disturb. Sometimes I even forget to take it off Do Not Disturb, and I wonder why I have an amazing day.
No technology.
But it's on Do Not Disturb because for the first, I literally get up, I walk my dog, I come home, I stretch. It's shifted now. Now I meditate instead of doing full breath work. But I'll go through these, I do brain games, and then I slowly get into my day. But I need that time to myself because if I wake up and next you know I've got social media going through that, wondering what's going on there, especially with some of the stuff that's going on in my life at the moment, you just stay away. I'm on a mission here. So I have that focus, and then I come into there a lot calmer. With what has happened recently, from learning what I have through the meditation, which I'm sure there's a question here about it, and we'll jump into it. Yeah. It has calmed me down so much. I'd normally be freaking out over the stuff, especially when I was overseas and I find this out. I would have been losing my marble. But I actually was like, okay, cool. I come back, I've had to sort out my dog, find out a place for him. I've had to organise a flight to Dubai. I've had to organise these things. And again, normally like, fuck, we've only got 2 weeks. How am I going to sort out my dog? What if this doesn't happen? I was just like, that's cool. Everything's fine. We just take it nice and easy. I had the boys around me were having house viewings and all sorts. That was fucking them up. And they were going, yeah, I got this one. This is amazing. Oh, I lost it. Fuck. And they'd run around the house and freak out. Where I'm just like, cool, didn't work. Let's just see what the next one comes through. I met the dog owners yesterday, the dog people yesterday, and we loved each other straight away. They've sorted my dog out, and I had zero stress.
Wow.
Where the other boys are freaking the fuck out.
Calm and collected.
It's amazing. And
Not phased?
Literally,
Yeah.
not phased at all, because it's have you read the book The Surrender Experiment by Robert
Actually, I haven't.
Arsenault?
I've heard of it, but I have not read it yet.
Read that book. Beautiful book. Beautiful book. And I combine that with the meditation. And I literally, it's cliche, but I've been surrendering and meditating, and my life just feels bliss. It's incredible.
And from such a transition as well, such a pivoting time from, like you said before, being what we've been talking about, actually, being an ex-stripper, being an Onlyfans and everything as well, which is
A lot of drugs,
good
not partying, to none.
To none, yeah.
None.
And a lot of people don't get past that stage as well.
No.
I think a lot of people get so trapped into a lifestyle and there's such a condition from society, matrix, whatever you want to call it, and stuff that literally
Comfort.
keeps them bound. Yeah, comfort in the comfort zone.
Yeah.
That seems like you've literally pushed through all these fucking barriers by force.
Oh,
You have?
Yeah, I don't like sitting still. I can't sit still. Like, I need to be always doing something going forward. Like, if I'm not going forward, I feel like I'm not achieving something.
Yeah.
And
I get that as well. I feel guilty.
Yeah,
I punish myself as well. Yeah.
I mean, again, it's shifted now because I've had no phone for 30 days. I had it for a bit. I was doing collaborations with him, so I had it for a little bit. But I was removed from society for 30 days, and to see that not much has actually fucking changed in 30 days, and I'm just like,
Goes to show, eh?
yeah. I was just cool. It's the shit we tell ourselves. We tell ourselves that everything's going to go to shit if I don't do this for a week or whatever it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
I mean, look, it's circumstantial.
Yeah,
it
for
is.
sure.
It is circumstantial. But for me, it's just
That's why I think, honestly, when depression comes from as well, I think it's really circumstantial as well. I think it comes down to our circumstances. I think there's things that we, the ways we program ourselves and we brainwash ourselves. There's no matter what, you're going to be programmed a certain way, right? But I think, honestly, it just comes down to your circumstances and stuff. I think it's a sign that there must be some things that need to change. When people have mental problems and things like that, there must be more work mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, breath work. There's something that you need to do to completely eradicate those thoughts.
100. Look, I think, again, it depends on the circumstances. There are people that are facing certain things mentally which are a lot more far gone than others, where fucking breathwork, meditation, journaling, all these things aren't going to help. Okay, so there is these things that are too far. But when it comes to a lot of things, like, again, I've gone through depression. That part of the start of last year before I moved back here, when I was going through the whole Mind Valley phase and working out if I'm getting out of bed or not, that point was depression. But what people would clarify as depression. My way out of that was I need to work on myself, because if my inner thoughts are fucking horrible, are disgusting, and that's the way I'm talking to myself, I'm the only one that's going to change that. Because what is it? 90% of the thoughts we think are the same as the day before, 70% are like fucking negative.
Yeah.
And just with that statistic, that is whether that's correct or not, I've been using that. And I notice now, I rarely talk to myself like shit. But that is a lot of work of catching myself in a moment, of seeing myself punishing myself and going, hold on, taking a breath and then rewording exactly what I'm saying and giving myself a different perspective.
Yeah.
So your mind's like the most powerful thing that you can use for your own
100%.
advantage.
100%.
You literally can turn a negative thought into a positive thought. For some, like you're saying, for some people it's hard because their circumstances are a lot different. But you have to find that like door to walk through and find a way to actually change them thoughts.
Well, the thing is, you're not going to change anything unless you are like, I need to fucking change. Like, working as a PT, I had clients that would come to me going, yep, let's do this. This is amazing. I was a high-end PT. I charged like £400 a month. So $800 a month to do it. These guys would come, yep, we're going to do this. This is amazing. They'd get about a month in and they'd be like, oh, this is so difficult. I don't want to do it. It's like, well, you don't want to change. I asked you this question
Instant
beforehand.
gratification as well.
Exactly. You want everything yesterday, but you need to be ready to change. It's like if you want to change a habit. You are not going to change a habit or start a new habit until you actually go, no, fuck it, I'm actually doing this. And you physically make that change. Everything comes down to us. We have the power for everything within us.
100%. It's a good thing and a bad thing because people will let themselves go so much to the point where they do get to that, I need to change, like, point in their life. But it also creates an experience for them as well where they go, oh, I never want to be like that again, which makes them even level up even more.
Exactly. So everyone has to get to their rock bottom of what that is for the change. But again, some people will do it and they go, no, I miss my comfort. And they go back to it.
Exactly.
So that's their cycle that they have to break. And unfortunately, some people will literally come to this life and maybe that's what this life wasn't meant to be for them. Maybe this life that they've come back down for is these are the things they have to work through before the next life.
Yeah.
Like it depends. Other people like us, we've come down here and we're like, cool, yeah, I want to go service to others. So that's where we go, boom.
Yeah.
And we know that this life, the next life, we're still on that path, we're still on that path, still on that path.
Preparing yourself.
Exactly.
For afterlife.
Exactly.
You find it by walking, taking steps and stuff as well, which is important. And yeah, I think, you know, personal development is something that we all have to go down. And it's interesting. It's like what I said before about people's ups, you know, can be from the biggest downs and stuff. And I think literally they're like boosters, and they're boosters that are going to take you to places. And that sometimes people have to be pushed so far until they actually make that change to get the good habit that they want, so they continue to actually keep that good habit and continue moving forward as well. And it's quite interesting how people don't just make that change at the beginning. Instead of being pushed so far down a certain way, psychologically, mentally, physically and stuff, that's, oh shit, now I have to change.
Well, look at where you are now in your life, okay? Then think back 10 years. Look at all the steps of things that you had to go through to get yourself to here. Each step that you hit, which was a pivotal moment, led to this pivotal moment, led to this pivotal moment, led to this pivotal moment. Everything always leads to something else. So yeah, we have to go through those ups and downs. We have to have those moments. We have to have that year or whatever it is where we feel like shit, we're depressed. Some people have to get close to suicide. Some people have to go through that breakup to be able to get to the point of where they are. They don't see that end result. All they see is exactly what's in front of them. But the end result's up here. You've just got to get through that pile of shit before you get up there.
I love saying it to people, you don't become who you are today without going through what you did in your past.
I love that.
That's beautiful.
Facts.
That's beautiful. I like that. Yeah. But it's very interesting just watching people now. Because that's what I do is I watch. Like, I look at people that I'm around and I listen to what they say and I'm watching what they're doing and then I'm seeing the actions and I'm just like conversation we had about what you should do with these steps and the lessons you should be learning clearly hasn't gone in yet. That's cool. That's your path. You need to be ready to learn that. And
When the time comes.
Exactly. But some people will go and go and go at self-development. They'll never go in because they're forcing themselves to do something they're not ready for.
It's not in flow, isn't it? They're not in a flow state. And that's something my mum actually said as well, which I love. She said something about being in your flow's current, right? It's like, let's just say there's two people, they're going to university, they both want to become lawyers. One of them becomes a lawyer more easy or finds, you know, the assignments a lot more easier because they're in flow. It's with their current, but then there's someone else that's, like you just said, they're forcing that personal development and everything down a certain path or a certain destiny they're trying to create for themselves, but they're going against the current because that's not a part of their divine purpose and things they have, you know, planned for themselves as well, which is awesome. Love, shout out to my mum and stuff as well.
My mum.
Love you very much. She's pretty cool. She's going to have a few mushrooms today and stuff as well.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Oh, go on, mum. Go on, mum. But I want to actually, after being at the monasteries, I want to meditate and do mushrooms. I just want to see the level that it's going to take me to.
Definitely.
It's just,
I'd love to sit down and do a breath work with you sometime as well.
That's I leave next week, so you got a week.
Weekends,
No, wait. 6 days. I leave on Thursday morning.
Oh, I leave on Wednesday as well, so we should plan something for sure.
Let's fucking do this.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's have a chat after this, actually.
Sounds like a plan. And I wanted to ask as well, so technically when you're mentoring people within your mentorship and stuff, what do you reckon are the main or the most common blockages people come across?
Certain self-talk.
It's literally the self-talk?
It's literally the self-talk. Like, they'll go up against someone gives them a no, and straight away they go, what the fuck's wrong with me? They haven't achieved something. They haven't got as many likes on a post. They didn't land the client. They didn't land this. What's wrong with me? Why isn't this happening? It's their own self-talk. Yeah. And it's all frequency. When we talk energy, the frequency that you're on when you're negative self-talk, when you're feeling low, when you're not getting the things, you're pretty fucking down. But you're not going to be on the frequency or where you need to be attracting the high-level clients, to be attracting the things that are going your way. Like everything is already in existence. Everything that ever will be invented, anything like that, is already in fucking existence. We just don't have the frequency to match that yet. You look at Thomas Edison, right? For example, with the light bulb. Yeah. He had to be on that frequency for that light bulb idea to come. But he had to go through all the shit to get to that light bulb. The same here. We have to go through all of this to raise our frequency to come to the point where we know we belong, where we're going to start attracting the right clients, attracting the right people, attracting all that sort of stuff. And it's literally just getting people out of their own way. And that starts with that internal world. If you can start looking after that, you start meditating, you start breath work, you start exercising, you're eating well, you're looking after yourself, you're journaling, you're not staying up late. Like alcohol, I still have a drink every now and again. Like, I don't want to be one of those people that say, stop drinking alcohol, dude. I still smoke weed every now and again. It's what it is. But the point is, you're making your internal world the best thing possible for you to raise your frequency to be the best version of you. So it is just that. It's getting people to step out of their own way. I don't have a set curriculum. I don't do that. Mine is literally through conversation. We do breath work, we do meditation. To start off, make sure they get into the right space when we get in there. I set them little tasks to do throughout the week. But most of it is literally, we're having a conversation here. where do you feel you're stuck this week? And we look at those points. And ideally, the goal is to get that person for them to say the answer. Because I'm not sitting here turning around and going, well, actually, this is your problem. This is what you're fucking up with. Because they're going to turn around and go, okay, and go back and keep doing it.
Agree with it,
Yeah. So self-reflection as well, analyzation for self and everything like that as well. Yeah, I think that's really important, self-analyzation. And I think that's why a lot of people, they stay stuck and stuff is because they don't like to look internally, because they get uncomfortable with the identity that they have and the identity shift that they are having anyways, just in general. And it's something I've even gone through. I remember quite a few months ago. It's sort of like when you do breath work and certain things and certain practices and you're experiencing and you're growing and you're doing personal development, it's like your skin starts to shred like a snake. You know, it's just like that. It's like an ego death, right? That part of your identity is slowly changing and stuff. And I think some people are like, they don't want to look at their flaws and they like to add bullshit on top of it and analyzation and rationalize things and stuff to take them away from the bullshit they have internally, rather than accepting it, looking at it and being like, okay, this is what I need to fucking change. This is what I need to do.
But I use this example for one of the boys yesterday. So, you know, have you seen the Meg 2?
Oh, is that the shark?
Yes, yeah. So the Meg 2, basically what they have is like, they've got the ocean floor and it's the thermo, whatever it's called, I can't remember it. But then through the other side of that, once they get through that thermo area, is a whole nother fucking world down there.
Yeah.
It's the same with our personal development, moving through the shit that we need to move down. People get down to that stage, they go, no, it doesn't go any deeper. Doesn't do that. But when they start doing the introspective work of breath work, meditation and things like that, to start removing those limiting beliefs, they go through that thermosphere, and next you know, there's an entire world down there of it's like, oh, fuck, there is so much stuff here that needs to be removed. But once you're there and you're going through, you're removing it and you're actually doing the work, it's, again, we look at movies and we think of a montage. We look at Rocky fucking becoming the champion within 5 minutes. But then we all think our life is a montage. We forget, like, you've actually got to put those hours in. You've got to sit there with those negative thoughts. You have to do that. But that's slowly removing the junk. Like every single time we're crying, anytime we're in pain, anytime we're in these sorts of things, and we can feel it, it's our body removing energy and just shit that we need out of our body. So when people are going, it's too painful, I don't want to go through that, I don't want to relive that, and it's like, well, that thing you have to. It sucks, but you have to, because that's still in there. And you won't fully remove the trauma. You never fully remove the trauma. What you do is you turn the volume down on it. And when you turn the volume down on it, it doesn't affect you as much anymore.
You learn to live with it.
Exactly.
You weaponize it as well, use it as power.
You can weaponize it, but the point is, we don't want that having the effect, because what people use their trauma against is that's why people are abusive. That's why people are angry. That's why people are pricks.
Hurt people, hurt people.
Exactly, hurt people. So we want to turn that hurt people down and turn up the love people. we do that and things will be great, but that's work and people are scared of the work. Which, look, some people have been through things that I would never wish upon anyone. So I get it. I get that's going to be hard. So maybe you will need a bit of extra support through this, but know that you're loved through this process. But that's it. People just have to sit with themselves, go through that thermosphere and start digging out the shit, because it's going to fucking get easier in time. Not straight away.
And I think that's good as well, because I think weaponize, energy can only be converted, right? I think when it comes down to energy, negative or positive, it can all be used in somewhat form. And I think that negative energy can actually sometimes be really powerful if you convert it to a positive. Like, let's just say you're angry or something, instead of, like, let's just say I got cheated on by my girlfriend or something like that. Instead of me,
bro. Sorry.
Oh, no, that didn't actually happen. My first girlfriend, yes, that happened. And stuff, and she misses me and she come back to me because she sees what I'm doing now.
She's only human. They all do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. But long story short, through that time when I was about 18 and things like that, when I got cheated on by my girlfriend, it was such a pivoting moment, because I used that anger and that emotion into becoming the best version of myself. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym now and stuff. I'm going to make money. I'm going to become so good at communicating and become better looking and stuff. Like, none of this ever happens to me. So it's like what I heard, Billy Carson?
Yeah.
Billy Carson and 19 Keys. I've got a podcast and they're talking about PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. They said PTG, which is post-traumatic growth, which is that you go through so much trauma that you just turn around and you run away from it. You just run for success because you don't want to go back to that frequency anymore. You've had so much of that frequency. It's just like, no, I'm changing this. I'm eradicating that self. I'm going to be born again and I'm going to transform.
I like that.
Yeah, PTG.
PTG of it, if that's great.
Yeah, it's a good one, hey.
Yeah, well, I like that.
So your community, how much is it to be a part of it, to be involved?
So it's $97 US a month. That it will be going up as it grows. Since I've been at the monastery, I kind of had a pause on everything, which is good. I had at Austin actually, and they're running breathwork for me. But now I'm back. Now I can start focusing everything on there. And as the community grows, obviously the price will increase, because all of this, find it really funny when people turn around and go, I don't want to follow you anymore. I don't want to be a part of it because you're charging for this service. And it's like, oh, so you like it when my stuff's free, but you don't, and you praise me, you do these things, but you completely miss the fact that this is my job and this is my livelihood and this is how I make money. And you like the free stuff I give, but you don't want to support the rest of the knowledge that I give. That's cool. It's up to you. But I found a lot of that started coming out when I started having a paid community. And I just find it very funny how selfish, selfish people can be with wanting everything for free but not wanting to support. So everyone that does support at the moment, everyone that will support, I thank you. For everyone else, clearly wasn't for you.
That is true.
There's a lot of people out there that just expect everything for free. Even when it comes down to like small businesses you're running and stuff, like your friends and family, they expect to get something for free. But it's just like, where is the support when I'm charging?
Yeah.
Why can't you just support something like it's a livelihood? It's a job that I want to do.
Yeah.
Just help out.
Well, it's when they come to you for mates rates. Oh, can I get mates rates? It's like, well, hold on. No, fuck you. I'd come to you. I'd come to you and I would pay your wage because I support you. Yet you'd come to me and ask me for mates rates.
Exactly.
Go the fuck away. Don't come anywhere near me. Dude, I had people messaging me from back where I grew up and Brisbane before I even moved to the UK that were messaging me going, oh man, you're doing so well. It's amazing. Could you be my trainer? And I'm like, yeah, cool. This is how much it is. They're like, oh, can you do mates rates? I'm like, one, we were never mates in the beginning. I just knew who you were.
Acquaintances.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, just go away. You're an energy. I don't want anyone near me. Go away.
Yeah, that has to be like that sometimes as well. And I think you've got to be really protective of your energy, to keep that peace, but also boundaries, having posture. I think sometimes being like, hey, no, that's not how it was. Let's be transparent.
Yeah.
And I think we live in such a, perception. The world's perception nowadays is don't tell the truth, don't be authentic, don't be transparent. I think when it comes to communication, when it comes to professionalism, us being here and stuff, or just what you just said with people, you're just straight up, you're upfront. It's the truth. It's nothing more but the truth.
We're in a world where people are crying for authenticity.
Yeah.
Like you look at social media, and social media is just ran with everything that's fake. Did you see that TikTok account, that Netflix documentary?
TikTok cult?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Austin told me to watch that one, and I watched a couple episodes.
I started watching it I watched it last night with the boys.
Yeah.
I know it was just like.
It's about the pasta and everything as well. The girls, the people dancing and shit like that.
That's that one. I was watching that last night, and it's wild to think that I've just lost my train of thought. Completely forgot it. It had something to do with what you were just saying. I completely forgot it. I was there, and I was like, I'm not even going to try to fucking save this on camera. Completely forgot it. The authenticity of people. It is. There are too many people online where you look at them showing the cars, showing the house, showing this, showing that, and they're all in debt. They don't have any fucking money. They don't have this. They're struggling. Or they're dancing in front of a car that's not even theirs. Like, there's these things, like the TikTok ones, they were all earning the money. Some guys still stealing from them, granted. But there's a lot of people in there that just aren't authentic. And you can feel it in their message.
Yeah.
So it's like people are crying out for people just to be real and raw and just talk about how it is in their life.
Yeah.
So, I think that answered the question that I missed.
Well, it seems like you got back to it. It seems like the cognitive skills are working and efficient. That's for sure.
So I know you on and off social media.
Yeah.
I want to ask, how is consistency an important part of growing a following?
Yeah.
Like, through social media, and how did you manage to stay consistent?
So I just set my goal of posting twice a day. Yeah. I was like, the things that I'd had social media managers in the past, from when I was bodybuilding, doing things. So I was using the information they were giving. Don't get me wrong, that's 8 years ago. It's probably a little bit out of date for social media now.
Yeah.
But it's the same premise. You want to be seen more. So I was posting twice a day. I wanted to make sure I had, when people looked at my page, it was a reel, a photo, and a reel, so it looked nice.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that I was responding to everyone's comments. I wanted to make sure I was doing stories, like just doing the things to put me in front of people. And so that's all I did. I was lucky that I had one video that went viral, which sent another few videos viral. And from that's where everything skyrocketed.
Yeah.
So I think since April, I went from 3,000 to almost 36.
That's crazy. And sometimes all it takes is that one video.
That's literally all it takes. That's why it's that consistency, because you want to be posting. One, the algorithm will show that like you're posting. It will, I think it looks after you a bit more. Please don't quote me on this. I'm not an social media expert.
I think it does the algorithm, yeah.
But it's like when you slow down. I still had videos. I think I had some people post for me. It was only 4 posts at the time I was away, and I still grew about 3,000 in that time. But that's also other videos that are still picking up and still catching. But look, these these days there's so many people going viral, so many people getting known on social media that as long as you stick to your thing, you keep you do collaborations with people. You make sure you're boosting a post every now and again. You're responding to comments. I think that's the other one. I had
Interaction.
Exactly, it's interaction, because people like the fact that you can connect with them. People don't want a page that is just like you're doing that, you never respond to them. You're literally just stonewall. They don't want that. Like people want to feel like they're a part of your world, and I think that's been the biggest thing. Is I just
100%. And I've felt that from firsthand, like inboxing influencers or like people that I follow on social media and they replied to me. Makes me feel like I'm a part of their life, you know, and that makes me want to even follow them even more.
It is, and it's even that. Like I did a collaboration with Kobe yesterday or the day before about meditating with ADHD, and he was like, he responds to some comments, but because he's where he is now, he doesn't have time to respond to all those comments. But I usually go through and I'll be commenting on ones that I can add value to. Yeah. And those ones that I add value to, they respond to me. Or they follow me. So it's that we're adding value to people's lives. And I think the thing for social media, there's three categories. You're either an educator, an entertainer, or a viewer.
Consumer, technically, hey.
Consumer, viewer, yeah. So it's that. And for me, I'm an educator. The entertainment, I mean, I know I'm naturally funny. I get that. but it's the education side of things, because I'm here as a service to self. Yep. I'm here to make sure people can learn and to grow and to be that bridge between who they were to who they can be. So that's my role, and that's what I want to keep with my social media.
Yeah, and me and JJ said the exact same about Beyond Boundaries. We want to educate the young youth to inspire them to you know, to show them people like yourself and all the other guests that we had that it's possible to change. It's possible to move on in life and create something for yourself. You just got to find the
main motto,
isn't it? Yeah. Well, it is. It's exactly that. You just got to be ready. You got to be ready to break that wall down and move through it.
I think me and JJ, when we first started this, we broke down that wall. It's like we've never been in front of cameras. We never
really,
never.
Really,
thought that we could even do this. You know, so me and JJ sat for like 6 months on this idea of the podcast, getting together, learning, practicing to make it as professional as we can. And now it's just like we're coming here and we can just yarn about anything.
I love that. I love
it's
that.
Good. It's been a good journey so far, and especially having Johnny as my co-host and stuff. I definitely really appreciate you, brother.
No,
some love to you for that as well. And I think it's like we said,
That's bromance. I love that.
But also, it's good, you know, especially being able to impact people, and that's why, you know, we like to have individuals like yourself to give value to our community and stuff as well that we're wanting to grow, and getting people the knowledge that they need, and literally being able to help people redefine their perception from the warped perception they have to the new version of themselves, that new being, that new identity that they need for shifts and transformation, and
100%.
just pure abundance.
100%, mate.
Yeah,
100%. I love that.